You guys are watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. We are having our first of two previews between the Cowboys and the Raiders. The Tom versus Mitch game that doesn't actually matter because it is the preseason. This is a late night game, folks. It is going to be Cowboys Report after dark as the Cowboys visit the Raiders for a 10 p.m. Eastern kick. 2 years in a row they've done this to us. I think it was 2 years in a row and not thinking of a previous year. Raiders are the kind of heavy favorite because the Cowboys offense didn't move the ball. Also, the Raiders are going to play their quarterbacks more, like their actual quarterbacks a bit more. So who do you have winning this one? C for the Cowboys, R for the Raiders. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Couple Cowboys injury notes I want to get to. We'll probably get more updates as the week goes on, so do keep that in mind depending on when you're watching this video. Some people watch it like the day of. Chuma Edoga toe injury. He's not going to play, it sounds like, and I think there's some long-term concern there. I am hopeful that at least one of Deuce Vaughn or Royce Freeman can get back out there. I want to see what they can do on the ground. I want to see if Deuce Freeman can be on returns. If those guys don't get healthy quickly, it makes it harder for them to make the 53-man roster. Same is true of Peyton Hendershot. He is battling a shoulder injury. TBD on that status there. Israel Mukwamu has a groin injury that's cost him some time. We'll see when he's healthy and ready to go. Sheldrick Redwine, Nathan Thomas. As of filming, undisclosed injuries. I'm sure we'll get word at some point soon with what's actually going on there. But that is worth monitoring. The Cowboys like Redwine. He's a classic practice squad call-up option player. Nathan Thomas fighting for a roster spot. Ideally, you have Nathan Thomas healthy. He plays left guard a lot, and Austin Richards plays left tackle a lot if Edoga's out. But injury question marks now abound. So what to watch for versus the Raiders? Number one's pretty accurate, right? It's Trey Lance. Can he be better than what he was? And I did go back and catch a lot of the All-22. And there were times that there just wasn't anybody open. There were times that Lance was late getting through his progressions and his reads. His time to throw was 3.22 seconds. That's really high. Especially, it's not like it was a small sample. It was a very high sample size of throws involved there. There were a lot of short stuff. They didn't push the ball downfield that well. And there were times I don't think he saw it well enough. He drops back and he's not going quickly enough. He didn't trust what he saw there and was late getting it out and not enough processing, which happens for a young guy who hasn't played a lot. So I'm hoping that game 2 is better. There were missed throws too. There were a lot of high throws, by the way. I saw someone was like, Lance is cooking on the drive. Like, no. Kelvin Harmon made 2 great grabs that they jumped for. Got to dial those back in. I think that the yak opportunities were limited. I think there were times he looked comfortable back there. When the first read was there, I think things went pretty well. First read wasn't always there, though. So it kind of felt like at times that Lance is just he's not being aggressive enough even. Like, he doesn't want to make the mistake. And he's playing not to err. And when you play not to err, you don't win. And that's kind of what we saw in the first game. So I want to see Lance I want to see him make more plays. I want to see him be a playmaker, not a game manager, for lack of a better phrase. So will Trey Lance be better in preseason week 2? Y for yes, N for no in the comments of today's show. Number 2, more Mazi Smith. I thought in general, what we saw from Mazi Smith was solid. There were not many splashy plays beyond the tackle for loss. I thought especially early in that game, he did his job pretty well. Yes, it was boring, but remember what the Cowboys are asking out of Mazi Smith. They are not asking Mazi Smith to be some type of, dynamic pass rusher. That's not his job. His job is to take on double teams, keep your linebackers free. I don't think it's an accident that, the Rams ran the ball better once Mazi Smith left that game. And I thought Albert Huggins Albert Huggins, I think some people actually mixed up the two guys. They both, it's 56 and 58. It can be a little tough to tell who is who. Huggins was getting twisted and turned. Mazi didn't have that happen very much. The box score did not give him that tackle for loss. That's BS. Mazi had a TFL against the Rams. I think better conditioning is probably still a factor here too. The rehab, the weight loss, the weight gain, understandable. I want to see him just be able to handle a bigger workload. Now, today's show is made possible by Rocket Money. How much do you think you're paying in subscriptions every month? The answer is probably a lot more than you think. Over 74% of people have subscriptions that they've forgotten about. I did. I'm sure you did. Everyone. 74% of everyone has had a subscription that they forgot about. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills. All in one place so you can grow your savings. So what are you waiting for? Go over to Rocket Money and join the 5 million users who have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, and that's up to $740 a year in savings when using all of the app's features. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel those unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. That's rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. That is rocketmoney.com/Cowboys. What to watch for, number 3. What is going to be their left tackle plan? I am very curious what that actually ends up looking out like. They might give Tyler Guyton some reps. They kept him limited in week 1. I heard Brian Bross mention it was pneumonia for Guyton, by the way, which is kind of crazy, and that actually does explain why the illness took him so long to recover from. So hopefully it gets better soon if that is the case. But if Udoka's banged up and can't go, you're not going to play Terrence Steele much. You're going to give Matt Lesko a lot of run at right tackle. Earl Bostic is one option, but I thought he was bad to the point like it kind of was a limiting factor as to how much you could have played and how much you got good reps out of Trey Lance. But it kind of then are a little bit thin when sitting your first 5 offensive linemen and Udoka, and you're not going to play Bass the entire time. So can you get Nathan Thomas healthy at left guard so that you can put Awesome Richards at left tackle? That would be ideal. Richards was, I think, mostly solid. There were a couple times he had a rough rep, I think more at guard than at tackle. Cowboys think he's better at guard. I kind of think he might be better at tackle, but that's up for debate, I suppose. 2 pressures allowed, solid run blocking grade there. I'd like to see Richards at left tackle, Thomas left guard if Udoka can't go, but I need them to be healthy as well. It will be Cowboys Report After Dark here on Saturday nights. We will be live for that Cowboys-Raiders game. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button right now. What to watch for the 4? Yeah, it works. Any sign of a pass rush, please. You had like 41-something dropbacks against Stetson Bennett, and one guy had more than one pressure. Look, you didn't play Micah Parsons. You didn't play Tank Lawrence. Marshawn Nealon got all of like 6 pass rush reps. Got some push on one of them. It's fine. He's not going to play a ton. You kind of need him. Tyrus Wheat was out there for 12 pass rush snaps. Didn't get a pressure. Darrell Johnson was out there for 16 pass rush reps. Got 1 pressure. Junior Feoko was out there for 19 pass rush reps. Did not get a pressure. Al-Quadin Muhammad out there for 18 pass rush reps. Did get 2 at least. Shaka Toney was out there for 13 pass rush reps. Got 1 pressure. Willie Harvey got 1 on a blitz. Jason Johnson got 1 on a blitz. And Denzel Daxon got 1. None of your DTs got pass rush because you have all 1 techniques. Like that's what you have on your depth chart. Like the only way the Cowboys really got pressures were on blitzes. And that's not a huge surprise, but I was hoping to find 1 more pass rusher in this group. I'll give the slight edge to Muhammad, but I don't think he was overly impressive necessarily either. I thought Shaka Toney's burst was pretty solid. I need another piece here. Unless someone steps up, and Fehoko, I'm looking at you. They kind of moved him all over the defense. They gave him DT reps. They gave him D-line reps. He spent most of his reps on the outside, and he didn't make much of an impact. That is a concern for me. So do you think the Cowboys need another pass rusher? 1 for yes or 0 for no. Next, what to watch for? Any returns? Cowboys briefly got some returns for Tyron Billy Johnson, But the Rams mostly kicked it out of the end zone. The one return was like from 9 yards deep of like, just go practice something, not actually get a return going there. For a second, I thought Johnson was going to bust that last play of the game. That was kind of, he got to the first wave and then it got closed down and I got excited. Cropper was back there on punt returns. I did see David Durden back there as well. Deuce Vaughn, if he can get healthy, can be an option there as well. But that, like, these 4 guys, if the Cowboys do carry 2 return men, they don't want to risk Rico Dowdle on returns, those 4 guys might be fighting for one last spot on the roster because they're not going to play Turpin. If they can make a big play, it helps them accomplish that.